The very early 90s when, and this line is one that everybody probably would have said, the waking up at dawn. You see, the process of enjoying sleep and having to wake up or get somebody tap you on the back and say, hey, the fight is on. Yes, in the initial moments, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm losing a lot of sleep here. But the next minute, you're thinking, Azumah Nelson is going to be on the screen. And look, I can't miss this fight for anything else because tomorrow morning, that will be the topic all over the country. Besides, the man drew so much love across the country that, nobody wanted to miss a single moment of the action. That would have to be I'm struggling to choose between Salvador Sanchez and Jeff Fennick. Jeff Fennick because Azumah Nelson made a statement to the rest of the world, and he made it in very particular fashion. Now, there was a Jeff Fennick who was a demigod in Australia. Nobody dared desecrate him. I mean, he was unscathed, he was worshipped, he was glorified, and he, like I said, was a demigod. And nobody would ever think that anybody could cut him to shreds in the ring like Azumah Nelson did. So first bout happened, and they said, well, it was a draw. Azumah Nelson said, you know something? Let's fight right now if you want to. If the rules permit, let's do it right now. I'm ready to do it again. Well, the rematch came, and he gave proof to everyone else that this is exactly what I was talking about. And for me, that is the biggest possible statement any sportsman can make to the rest of the world. Because like I said, I'm torn between the Salvador Sanchez fight. The circumstances surrounding how he went into that fight is what gladdens my heart so much. And it tells us so much. It has a ripple effect on the way we approach every other endeavor of life. What Azumah Nelson did in and outside of the ring affects every other thing we do in life because of the lessons, that are lying within these basic, these various stories. And for me, the fact that Azumah Nelson had to go into the fight, first of all, it had to be rushed because of the circumstances. He had to go and look for a gum shield. A makeshift one was designed, put there. So he suffered loads and loads of cuts on his gum and was very, very uncomfortable throughout the fight. Well, lost out on it. But at the end of the day, what was important is that he rose from that misfortune in New York. And since then, we've had a great story of greatness and of one of a kind, of somebody of a different kind of soil to tell in the world of boxing. Azumah Nelson represents that big story and the foundation on which we can all stand and move to the next level. Azumah Nelson represents the fuel that can push people to achieve. We look at all sectors of our development, and what are the problems? People have ideas. Some of them are on paper, some of them are up there in their minds, but they never are able to make them manifest. And it is because the inspiration is not there. Azumah Nelson represents inspiration. So for me, it is one individual. He made loads and loads of sacrifices and made sure that his sweat and toil placed the flag up there and made it continue to fly. I'm talking about the red, gold, and green. And so for me, he represents that big platform on which all of us stand and make sure that we push our nation to the next stage and the next stage of its development. Azumah Nelson is a great asset to this nation, and we have to pray that we have several others in other sectors of our lives, especially in boxing and in sport, because once we have others coming after him and achieving around what he did, not necessarily as much as he did, we know that we're improving the lot in our sports sector. First of all, we're creating great opportunities, we're inspiring generations after them, and of course, most importantly, we are giving inspiration to other sectors of our development as a nation.